Joseph Edward Mates, founding president and immediate past president of the Paul Report Foundation, established in 1987 as a support group for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. He was also former trustee of the Hetrick Martin Institute for the Protection of Lesbian and Gay Youth, created in 1984. The chalice for the liberal faith of Unitarian Universalists was lit at a service on February 19, 1984 at Comiskey Park on Jackson Street. Reverend Newman spoke about why we are Unitarian Universalists. In public event, a member representing the fellowship was zagged on a march after he gave an address, "We stand with you," at the city's first gay and lesbian rally held at Washington Park. The first gay march was held in Dubuque on September 19, 1987. Hecklers who shouted obscenities and threw eggs and rocks met an estimated 30 marchers. Organizers of the march included Stacy Meldotter and Ginny Lenz. The second gay march occurred in May 1988 with an estimated 575 participants. The third annual Gay Lesbian Pride March was held Saturday, September 16, 1989.
My name's Indy, and I grew up in Dubuque.
I am Susan Price. I own the Smokestack in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm originally from New York City.
I am married with 2 children, my wife Molly, and our 2 adopted children, Cora and Micah.
I'm actually a native of Minnesota, of St. Paul. I moved to Dubuque with my partner about 23 years ago.
Hi, I'm Rachel Ferraro, and I'm the director of Dubuque Transgender, an organization I started about 7 years ago here in Dubuque.
The one thing that I really do like about Dubuque is that, in my own experience, I've never felt 1 ounce of discrimination.
It's been a surprise how supportive people have been. Well, first of all, that the adoption agency in town adopted to same-sex couples.
And we love the area, and we've experienced a great life here, and I have more to do and more opportunities for me here than I think I ever would have had in a metro area.
I think the Dubuque community has become gradually more progressive over time. I still think that there are a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings that surround the LGBTQ plus community.
As for my experience with the LGBTQ community in Dubuque, I mean, as far as I know, there really isn't one that's kind of readily available and puts itself out there.
I went to high school in the early 2000s at senior, and when I first started, there really wasn't any discussion about LGBTQ plus issues. Like, you just didn't talk about it, and unless it was like, oh, this is bad and they're going to hell. And so I was really closeted, and I think I was either a sophomore or a junior, and some underclassmen came in and started up Gay Straight Alliance, and I joined it as an ally because I wasn't out yet. And I remember, I think it was around for maybe a year or less, and they changed it to a Straight Gay Alliance because the concern was that by having the word gay first, that it would be seen as us kind of encroaching on straight territory and thinking we're better than them. And I remained closeted into my 20s just because, again, there wasn't really a safe space to come out to.
There's a bit of decorum, maybe that's expected, and I feel like that's a line that we dance. You know, like living authentically without maybe making an issue of it, or you know, that may even be language that people would use. You know, we don't want to make an issue of it, but we also don't want to pretend to be something other than we are.
What we're seeing are we have primarily like college students that come into town, or high schoolers that need assistance in that time of coming out, and they just don't really know where the safe spaces are to go. They don't know who the providers are to go to, and just, you know, it's really easy to be isolated.
The other thing too is, unfortunately, the LGBTQ plus community is a population at risk. And so statistically you can see that this is a group of people that are impacted by higher rates of violence, homelessness, substance abuse, suicide, and other health disparities. And so that's why I think it is so important to have a strong outlet that is available to provide education and support.
There's really no like unifying sort of structure or place that we can meet and network and share with each other, share ideas and share resources. So I think Co would be really important in that regard.
What I like about Co is the time that I've been in Dubuque, I've seen a lot of smaller organizations like Dubuque Transgender and some of the other organizations, Better Together, Out and Proud, do our own little things. But I think Co could be one of those advantages where we all have a place to come together.
So I think had we had a resource similar to this, you know, back when I was growing up, it would actually help with regards to my own personal challenges coming out, as well as just dealing with my family and my friends and just the experiences that they had to go through.
But as a young adult in my late teens and very early 20s, the AIDS epidemic hit, and it was extremely difficult to be working in a neighborhood in which my customers at the time were dying, and nobody had any answers. I think that the coming together of the LGBTQ plus community during that time, the late 80s, was extremely important then. And although things are different now in terms of HIV alone, I think that coming together as a group is very, very important for everybody.
You've heard from only a couple of LGBTQ plus and ally community members in Dubuque. Co is a network of LGBTQ plus people who are committed to sharing their resources, gifts, and talents to make LGBTQ plus ideas, events, and advocacy happen. Co is made up of people like you, people who have love for and identify as LGBTQ plus ally, people who are willing to commit to the Co network, so together we can grow and strengthen our LGBTQ plus community.